Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. This morning I wanted to get into some of the AMA conversation. This morning, November 19th, we had a town hall. A bunch of voices came in and were sharing amazing things, including some awesome sneak peeks, some of the new cards. I think at least two of which we saw stats on. Very cool. Also, there appears to have been like a confirmation. In my opinion, there's a confirmation that blue is getting that melee buff. I think it's happening based on the artwork. We're going to talk about all that, but let's go through it point by point. And I'm going to give you the gist of the first hour. This is before they really dove into the all of the direct questions, and so it's just from a general update standpoint. Okay. Before I get into that, my name is Dwayne, and I go by Infidel 1258, and on this channel we cover Splinterlands all day, every day, because it's changed my life, and I think it can change yours. Part of the way that I extract the maximum that I can from this game is that I pay attention to what the developers are saying. Personally, that I get a lot of value out of that. So hopefully this video will add that value to your day also. And if you think so, make sure you stick around, stay tuned for the channel, because we do this kind of thing regularly. Okay, so first of all, Aggroed in the early going was talking about how he said that he felt the vouchers were going to hold their greatest value now. The vouchers are going to be most valuable right now up until probably next year. There's not any significant, that unknown benefit to holding vouchers between now and the next year's launch of a new deck. Because first of all, for new players, you might not know, Splinterlands launches a full deck every year. That's the intent, I think. I think Untamed was technically 2 years ago, but then Dice was in there, and Dice was a mini set. So I think generally speaking, they've said they don't want to do it like much more than that. So, you know, there's going to be a window of time. I imagine next, probably 12 months away, we'll get a big pack. And in like 6 months, we'll probably get Rift Watchers, which is a mini pack. Something like that. And until we get that next big pack, which is probably at least 12 months away, maybe 18, it would depend on a lot of variables, I'm sure. That will be when vouchers will really have a deep, meaningful value in Aggroed's mind. That's his words. He didn't say that exactly, but you see how I'm unpacking it a little. That's what I believe we can conclude from his comment there. That begs the question, is there going to be any utility added to the vouchers that we don't yet know about? I think the answer is yes, there will. Between now and then, yes, there will. But in Aggroed's mind, that utility is not going to exceed the utility offered today during the pre-sale, and all of that means, right? Because right now you can use vouchers during a pre-sale to buy a Chaos Legion pack, and that's going to give you airdrops such as Dr. Blight and another card, and then also, you know, Legionnaire titles and other things, other really expensive, really important things. Maybe if you use enough of them, you can get to design your own legendary summoner. You see, all of those things are wrapped up into the current price evaluation for the vouchers, and some of that goes away once the pre-sale is done. Okay, so if you're holding vouchers, it kind of goes without say then that you should either use them or sell them. Like, use them now when they're maximally useful, or let them go on the Hive marketplace and then utilize that value in some other way. Then Matt went into a conversation about the general sale, and he talked about how there's been a lot of questions and concerns around what if 1 million packs sells in the general sale within less than a day. Can we stagger the sales or the buys so that it doesn't just happen in a blink, and then somebody who was there right on moment one still doesn't get the first general sale airdrop? But he said that they were trying to conceive of a way where maybe they would allow an extension, like it'd be, even if 1 million packs sells, everyone's going to get the airdrop within this window of time. He said maybe 24 hours, but later in the comments I saw a Cryptomancer comment twice that it's not likely. They don't really know what that window would be. Cryptomancer said at first some amount of time, and then he later said directly, we don't know if it's going to be 24 hours. It'll likely be manually decided, which is to say they're going to look at this exact situation in front of them and the circumstances that are actually unfolding, and they're going to say, okay, is 12 hours the right time? Is 6 hours? Is 24? And they're going to make that call. But they are trying. That's an intention. That's an effort to help little guys get the most amount of airdrops. If 1 million packs releases and there's opportunities to get airdrops within that million, there's X number of airdrops that are going to likely fall onto those buyers. But if 1.5 million packs sells in that window and Yaba says you're all good, you're all in, even though it was 1.5 million, we're all going to give you that. You'll have that chance for that airdrop. Remember, it's a chance, and it's not for all of the cards. It's just for some of them. So yeah, even if they extended that window into like 1.5 million or 1.25 million or something, it's still going to be more left over for the packs afterwards inside the packs. That's true for all of them except for Dr. Blight. They introduced Homestead Hacker. He's like a community member who loves the game, and he's going to be running the Discord and Telegram, I guess, organization and like security buffing, I guess, like making it a little bit more secure. And then ultimately he mentioned about how he wants to have like mini AMAs in there too. And then Agro jumped in and said, look, just because we're decentralized doesn't mean we need to be disorganized. So we want to get people like Homestead Hacker coming in and really making things more structured, functional, making them more functional, I think is the best way to put that, which is awesome, right? So glad to see Homestead Hacker added to the team. Matt then commented on large purchases with credits. Large purchases will get credits, he said. This is actually news to me. I thought when we got large purchases, we would get potions under the private sale. What most people are calling the private sale. And Aggroed and Yaba were kind of saying shouldn't be called the private sale because it's just part of the general sale. So that actually speaks to, by the way, remember when they released all those phases, they said pre-sale 1, pre-sale 2, general sale. Everyone said, why is there no comment on the private sale? They're just sweeping it under the rug. There was a lot of animosity there and negative comments, and actually, I would say like outright slander towards them, saying things like, this is an example of how they just lie to us, and that kind of attitude. And Matt spoke to that in a sense by saying he doesn't like the term private sale. It's not a private sale. These are every pack that's sold is a private sale, if you want to call it that, because when you log into Splinterlands and buy 10 packs, you're privately doing so. And so are these people who are buying maybe 100,000 packs or $100,000 worth of packs. So he said, but those large purchases will get credits that they can use later in the general sale, not immediately. So that's interesting. I was under the impression it was going to be potions. If it's credits, that's awesome. That's really, really cool, because it would lead to more purchases of other Chaos Legion packs outside of that initial, what we've been calling private sale. Very cool. I would personally like credits a lot better than potions. Then Matt and Cryptomancer in the comments talked about no limit. This was big. No limit on the Chaos Legion purchases at general sale. And this, again, remember, this would include that private sale window that we're referring to as private. They said no, how did they describe it? At first they said no limit, meaning you could buy 1 million packs in one go if you want. But then they kind of pulled that back a little and said there'll be no discernible limit. I don't know what that means. Cryptomancer commented on that. Yaba commented on that. Clearly, they don't want us logging in, 400,000 people logging in, and trying to buy 2,000 packs, because some of you want 20,000 packs. I want 10,000 packs. What are we going to do? Log in 5 times, and what's that going to do to the servers? So it's just better if you can allow people to you just open the doors. And then some people, I know you're going to say in the comments, it's better for small people if they just cap it. So that, if they just let the 2,000 sales happen, people can run bots and scripts and stuff. And so this is the most fair way. Just open the doors and let people come in as fast as they want or as slow as they want, in my opinion. Hardpoint then came in and said that the market cache data, like for the prices on the marketplaces, you guys know that Peak Monsters and other websites, when you go in there and you buy, there's often old prices. Like these cards might not even be there anymore. Right now I'm looking at a level 3 Pellicore Deceiver. It says it's not 18 BCX for 15.8 cents per BCX. you know, whether it's there or not is entirely a guess, really. This is cache data, like it's older data, and they're holding on to it because there's a delay, there's a lag in the collection of what's on the market and the delivery of that data to something like Peak Monsters, which causes that problem when you go in and you buy it and the system says, oh, that's not even here anymore. So they're working on that. That's a very important next step for Hardpoint. He said, somebody named @KBucks, KBUX. I actually don't know who that is, but he said KBucks is working on preparing the Chaos Legion sale page and preventing crashing. So it was like a 2-point thing. Like, we're working on. They understand that the cache data is a problem, and not just from the sales standpoint, but also from the, like, we need to know that there's, if you go in to click buy Chaos Legion packs, there need to be Chaos Legion packs. And the expected number of hits and attention that are going to come from this event is obviously huge. So they're just really getting their ducks in a row and preparing for that. Hardpoint and KBucks are taking the front on that issue. And then Splinterlands has control of tons of SPS, but they will be moved into a multi-sig wallet. This is the next stage for validators and stuff. So if you don't know what validators are, if you're new to blockchain, what it means is that, well, first of all, blockchain is decentralized, right? So there's this decentral authority. Yes, we have people like Yaba and Agrod who create or who develop the game, but then ultimately they intend to allow SPS to be a governance token. So the more SPS you have, the more vote you have on issues such as, you know, do we, how many Chaos Legion packs are we going to release? Or how many Rift Voucher packs are we going to release? Or how does the sale take place? Or what is the price of the pack? Or, you know, how does DEC work? Or, and on and on and on and on. So validators oversee essentially the application of that decentral authority. These validators, they observe using code that I don't understand and program and equipment that I don't own. They would essentially be like a watcher over the network and see that record decisions on the on certain proposals. So somebody comes forward with a proposal. The SPS token holders, using their amount of stake and how much weight that carries, they vote yes or no. And when a proposal is approved of, the validators are tracking that and then implementing that. It's like it's not a question of if they do, it's like automated that they do by the power of our vote. So it's and these validators are going to be various people who we vote in. It's going to be individuals, it's going to be corporations who want to run that equipment and that software and to support the network in that way, and they will receive rewards. So that is coming soon. He said it'll be initiated this year. So, you know, in the next month or so, they're going to start that process, and it won't be live yet. It'll be in like a test stage. But by 2022, early first quarter, I think they're going to be implementing this. So we'll be able to vote on our favorite validators. And sometimes when this happens in other blockchains, sometimes there's different rewards. Like they get X amount of rewards for running the validator node. And sometimes they will compensate or incentivize people for donating your SPS or your vote to them, rather, not your SPS. We'll see where that goes. But either way, I think this is awesome because it's the next stage of decentralization for Splinterlands, right? People want to complain about what Yaba and Aggie are saying and what they're doing. This is the way you take control of that. SPS is here in front of you for like 40 cents a token. And whoa, you know, if you care and if you like this game and if you think you could do a better job, get SPS now and start to position yourself so that you can have a strong vote on issues that you are going to be concerned about as a stakeholder in this game. They didn't comment on the equipment or the SPS storage or SPS stake required to become a validator, but I assume there would be obviously a certain amount of technical expertise and equipment that would be required, not to mention a certain amount of SPS personally held, I would think, as a to show your commitment to the system, I would think. So I'd like to know more about that personally, and if can't wait to see what they say on that, because heck, I might be able to figure it out, and I would love it if I could run a node because it's to support my favorite game. But you know, I don't really know, so we'll have to see. And then they said there's a new speed setting in the battles. Did you guys see this? I actually didn't see this. Let's load one up and see. I guess there's a... It's much faster, I think. I heard Kitty and I heard Bulldog in the comments commenting on a new speed setting. Let's have a peek at this. Okay. Now... like that. Now let's see about the speed setting here. While that's loading up, I just want to read my notes and see what's next. Oh, this was cool. Hardpoint came on and said that week over week, Splinterlands has had 10 million users, 3 million extra users, unique users logged into Splinterlands week over week in the last 2 weeks. That's an enormous jump in unique users experiencing this game, exploring this space. Probably some of those are those that are signing up for new accounts, right? And we can see we're still doing pretty good. 2,200, 2,700. Looks like around 2,000 a day spellbooks being sold, and you know, 5,000-ish new accounts being created. Interesting. 10 million though. 10 million. If this, maybe they're exploring, and then maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll see this really tick up again, because they're checking things out, and then if they get interested, they'll go ahead and buy the spellbook. We'll see. We're gonna check on that speed thing, and then let's see. Let's rip through a few things. Aggie asked about forks of Splinterlands, and Yaba said would like to see that be possible, and that's crazy. Because it got me thinking, if you guys don't know what forks are, it's where if the Hive blockchain was to split, you would get Hive tokens that you already owned, and whatever token was the new token. And they were saying, like, look, Splinterlands could theoretically reach a point, especially through the SPS governance, where there's a split decision of that people, maybe different validators have different opinions, and it's conceivable that Splinterlands would fork, and then you would have Splinterlands A and B, and you would have your assets on both sides. And wow, that would be so crazy. I mean, we don't hope for that, but what he's saying is he hopes that utility and that security are actually possible within Splinterlands, and it's certainly conceivable. That would be a good thing, because it would mean that if there was some sort of tremendous disagreement or problem, it can be resolved at that level if push came to shove. Very interesting. When will SPS battle rewards be implemented? Somebody asked. Hardpoint said no, they need more developers and there's no timeline yet. He said there's no timeline yet. Then on the mobile app, Hardpoint, people asked, like, when are we going to get a better improved mobile app for Splinterlands? And again, Hardpoint answered, and he said roughly 3 to 6 months. But he didn't sound very clear or confident about that, to be honest. SPS staking will create... Oh, this was important, guys. Aggie came out and said SPS will have meaningful implications for your rewards. We still don't know exactly when, but that's coming soon-ish. And after Chaos Legion is openable at some point. And Aggie framed his statement. The question was, as DEC continues to drop and as it eventually returns to its peg, the question was, assuming it would, what is Splinterlands going to do about rewards? Because that'll cut the amount of DEC, the value of DEC within the pool, and therefore the possible earnings available to every player. And it's actually pretty significant. Like, if it goes back to its old peg value, we would lose a ton of daily reward value, a ton. And so would that scare away players? Would that mean people don't want to play anymore? And Aggie came in and said, look, SPS staking is going to be coming to the reward battle system. And that'll when you stake SPS on your account, it's going to create an opportunity for you to receive SPS for rank battle wins. And the way he framed his response was to say that this will account for it. Get your SPS in order, figure it out, handle your accounts accordingly. And if that's not a bullish sentiment towards SPS, I don't know what is. Let's go check on that speed thing. Let's check on the speed and how that changed. And then I want to close on one more thing about SPS. because I did a video this morning, my coffee grind video. I talk about SPS and how you can get a 30% ROI on SPS. But let's look at the speed first. Look, it's already at 3. It's already at 3. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so you just, by default, we're starting at 3. I got you. Okay, that's the difference. I feel like I'm in trouble. Unless I dispel, if I dodge these guys. If I dodge the snake. I didn't even dodge the chicken. Oh, yes. No, I didn't even dodge the chicken. The chicken hit me twice. I didn't dodge anybody. That's a shame. It's not called dispel. It's called backfire. If I backfired there a couple times, it might have been a different situation. Anyways, I like that they're doing the 3 speed right out of the gate. Okay, so we were talking about SPS, and we were saying Aggie gave a real indication that, you know, those rewards are going to be meaningful, and you have your chance in front of you right now to start preparing your SPS bag so that you can be ready to stake on your own account and unlock those rank battle rewards. Most of you aren't going to take this advice. But that was him saying that that's going to be meaningful. And I've told you in my morning video today, my coffee grind, I talk about 30% ROI on SPS. And SPS is 42 cents today. Yesterday it was 39 when I recorded the video, 39. This is still a really low price. This is still roughly 30% cheaper than it was 10 days ago. Look, at 10 days ago, this thing was 17 days ago, it was 64 cents. But look at this one. 11 days ago it was 56 cents. Like, these price declines, even 4 days ago it was 8 cents more expensive. Like, it's dropped dramatically in a very short period of time. A turnaround would make sense to me. I can't give you financial advice. You need to do what you want to do with your money, but I'm saying that's a very interesting. You don't chase after green candles, guys. You find a token you believe in and you buy red. That's what you do. That's what you do if you want to win long. But don't do it because some guy on the internet said you should do it. Do it because you believe in the token, you believe in the game, you see where this is going, and you understand that it just dropped 30%, and that's probably an interesting buy opportunity, even if it went lower. That's the point. Even if it went lower, it's like, if you really believe, you would dollar cost average at times like this. And so I wanted to bring this full circle with Aggie's point. I think it's cheap. You can see the growing utility. And right now, if you were to position yourself with it, like say 2,500 SPS, which is going to give you roughly one voucher during the second month of voucher drops per day for 30 days. And even if you assume vouchers are worth $10 in the second month, because vouchers are worth $17 right now, and they've been roughly 20 this whole month, roughly, like above 20, below 20. I'd say on average they've been $20. But I think on average you're going to get like a $10 value for those vouchers in month 2. On average, not necessarily at the peak and not at the trough. That would imply that you're going to get 12 cents worth of value out of every SPS just from the voucher drop for just that 30-day period. 12 cents. So it's like a 12-cent discount on your SPS. So even though the SPS is 40 cents or whatever, literally it will provide you vouchers that are going to equate to roughly a value of, a quarter of the cost. Yesterday was a 30% ROI, and that's hence the video title. SPS 30% ROI in 1 month. It's one of my coffee grind videos. It's live right now. Go check it out. Okay, guys. Thanks for your time and attention. That's all for today. Check out the AMA if you want more details. There was a lot more there, including some amazing cards that were leaked. There were some really great ones. And I think that blue... Oh, no, we can't wrap there. This is the new fire summoner, I think. They didn't say this was a summoner, but tell me that's not a rare fire summoner. And look, is that not magic? That's point number 1. Nate didn't say that this was a summoner, but it looks like a summoner. And he said that he said about her that she, like, you gotta watch her, she'll like burn up the entire village. I love the art. It's cute but dangerous. I love the color palette. It looks amazing. I think for sure this is a +1 magic to fire, and that's what I've been predicting for like a couple months. This is a legendary water monster who originally was a green, a wood elf or something, which I guess makes it like life or no earth, but made a switch because he just identified with water. So he's going to be magic focused, very powerful. There's one we know is a summoner. This is a cool new shark. I think it's called Shark Diamond, Dimon. Very cool, very powerful, probably huge hit points, I would think. Right here we have another amazing epic water card. Clearly, I would think magic based. I love that there's a little boat there that's like to show scale, how massive this water elemental is. This is the new summoner. This was stated to be a summoner. This is clearly, he said it was a dwarf. It's like striking its hands. Tell me this is not melee focused. This card is absolutely a melee summoner. Definitely, in my opinion, this is a +1 melee water summoner, and they said it was a summoner, so that's for me, that's a confirm. And look, I said melee water and then somebody else said physical attack water confirmed. So lots of cool things coming, and there was more down there that I didn't show you, but I mean, there's not, you don't get to see much about it. This is like a lava golem, I think they called it. This one was cool. And there's a gif of this one moving. And this one, there was a lore that he got into where it's like upset with some of the monsters that are fighting on Chaos Legion's behalf. I guess it knows somebody really close that ended up leaving. This is another really cool legendary fire monster. And let's just look at the two where we got stats. Shadow Snitch, Reach, Affliction, Dodge. That's a lot of hit points. You know, 4 cost. That's a really good 4 cost monster. Especially if you could play it in such a way, like let's again with Kitty or something, where you're gonna create a speed dynamic, right? Very powerful. I want that one. Problem is these cards that get leaked, they drive up excitement around that card. So this card will come out and people will be pumped to get it because it's been leaked, so you're already thinking about it. The cards that don't get leaked end up being the ones that are deals because no one's thinking about them, and then they get launched and they take us by surprise. There's the GIF. There's one more card we got stats on. Acid Shooter, and this one, Yaba said he described this new ability as like a random archery attack. It will attack an enemy, but it will hit a random enemy. It's not going to attack snipe. It's not going to attack sneak. It's not going to attack anyone in particular. It's just going to attack randomly. And then it will blast the 2 adjacent monsters, which is super cool. Super, super cool. Scatter Shot, I think it was called. Very, very cool. That's it, I think. Yep. Okay. Thanks for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. God bless.